Hi, my name is Craig Shuki and I'm part of the Customer Success Management practice here within Aviva. In today's video, I'd like to spend some time showing you around our Aviva Flex Credits portal so that you can understand how to make the most of your investment with your Aviva Flex subscription and how you can spend and consume credits on licenses with us. As you can see, I've logged into the application and I'm greeted with our home page or user interface here behind me. In the top right hand corner we can see our currently logged in user, and just along the top toolbar as well we can see the company or account that I'm assigned to. Moving down the page we see the 5 primary tiles that you're going to be most commonly interfacing with when you're in the portal. Moving from left to right we've got credits, agreements, requests, licenses and products. So let's take a look. We're going to begin on the far left with credits. Clicking upon the tile will launch the drop down view to give us a little bit of a greater bit of detail on exactly what we have available to us. As we can see here, we have a total of 10,300 credits available to us per year of our contract. So far within this year we've used 276 of those, and it will show as of today's date as well, just for clarification. Finally, on the far right hand side we can see the total number of credits that are still available for us to use within this year or contractual period. A further tool that's available to us to try and help manage our credit allocation and predict how our spending is going is our consumption chart, which can be accessed in this top left hand corner. When we click into the consumption chart, what we're able to see is our predicted burn down or predicted use of credits throughout our calendar period or contractual year. We can see the month of the year that we're currently in, which for this particular account is month 2. We can see any prior month, which are displayed in grey, and we can see any future and predicted month, which is in the lighter purple. Hovering over any month gives you a little bit of a breakdown for that particular period. So we can see that so far in month 2, we've consumed 275.83 credits. Our actual consumed running total is all months so far, which is the same as none were consumed in month 1, and we've got our total credits remaining. What the tool does is takes the data based on the total number of licenses that you have got requested and out at this moment in time, and applies that over each calendar month so that you're able to try and preview and predict if you're going to have sufficient credits to be able to run the software that you've currently got out for the rest of your contractual period. As we can see here, we've got plenty of credits available, and the tool is predicting that by the end of month 12 we'll have a total of 7,682 credits remaining as a leftover balance. So that's a clear indication that maybe I'm not consuming the licenses that I intended to, or maybe I've got some additional playroom and area that I could take some additional products or services that I can try from Aviva to make use of these credits. Next, we're going to move into the agreements tile. Now within our agreements tile, and I'm just going to hide this consumption chart again as well, we see a list of agreements that are associated to our contract. So we have one contract, or you may have many, but for the purposes of this demo we'll say that you have one contract, one Aviva Flex contract with us. As part of that contract you will have, however, or can have, multiple agreements. And to all intents and purposes, agreements are basically sites. So within our one contract here, we can see that we've got 3 agreements or sites that are listed for this. Now these come in handy as whenever we want to request a license or return a license that needs to be associated to an agreement or a site. It helps you manage your own license infrastructure, helps you know where your credits and licenses are being consumed and spent, and will help should you ever need to audit, etc., or try and locate particular licenses. From here we can see the site name and the agreement name should they differ. We can also see if this site is active or not. You may decide to retire or sell a facility, and in which case we'll then set the status to be deactivated, but we'll retain that information within here for as long as you see fit, so that you've still got the historical data on how you consumed credits and held licenses. We can also see the start date and the expiry date of the contract for these particular sites as part of your agreement as well. And this will coincide with your customer first support that is also included with your Flex Credit subscription. Now we're going to jump past requests for a second, and we're going to head straight over to products on the far right hand side. Now products provides you with a list of all of the different types of products that are available as part of your Aviva Flex subscription. On the left hand side we've got the category that the product or license belongs to. We've got the subcategory, which will help when we come to request licenses in terms of knowing where things live and how they're organised. We've got a part number, and then we've got a description of this particular license as well. On the far right hand side we display the unit cost for each of these licenses, and this unit cost is in credits, as you would expect, and this is the total number of credits that this license would consume over a 12-month period. Okay? Perfect. So, the next tile that we're going to jump over into is licenses. And in our licenses tab, what we're actually able to see is the total number of each product or licenses that we have out on request or on download at the moment within our organisation. So we can see for this particular account right now, we've currently got one application server, single platform engine license that's been deployed. We've got 5 historian client desktop concurrent users. So this gives you a real good look and feel as to exactly how many licenses of each type you have and how many credits that this is consuming for you as well within your organisation. So it's just one way that you can view the total number of licenses that are out within your organisation. From within many of the screens, and this license screen especially, you'll also see the export button highlighted here. Hitting the export button will take all of the data that's currently on screen and export that into an Excel file format, so that you can then modify and manipulate that however you see fit if you would like to do so outside of this portal. So it can come quite in handy if you've got a large pool of licenses to be able to export that, as we'll see here. I'm just going to launch that now. Just let that data load for a second. And as we can see, all of that information that was on screen is now available to us here. Like I say, that's one feature that's available on the vast majority of the screens and something that you may find use in. Now the final tile that we're going to spend some time in is our requests tile, and the request tile makes up the vast majority of this infrastructure and estate. From here we're split into 5 further subcategories. We have our drafts, submitted, completed, in progress and all. Drafts are license requests that we have started to be able to consume credits on licenses but have yet to complete or submit to Aviva. Submitted are license requests that you have completed and filed and submitted to Aviva, but we are yet to start processing. So as soon as you submit a license request to us, you will see it appear within this submitted icon. As soon as we pick up on that and start to fulfill your request and issue those licenses to you, we'll move that into in progress so that you can see we're actively working on this for you and gathering the licenses to be able to fulfill that request. And finally, once that is completed and those licenses are available for you to download and use, it will then move into completed. All clearly being the grouping of all of these combined, as well as any that may be cancelled should you wish. Now before we take a look at some of the completed requests, let's take a look at how to actually create one. In the top right hand corner we have our Create License Request button, and clicking on this button will then launch the form for us to be able to request some licenses. As we mentioned earlier, the first question that you're greeted with when you try to request a license is for which particular site or agreement would you like to request licenses for. So if you're looking to try and request a license per site, then you would need to do 3 separate requests in this instance, 1 for each of the sites. For this test today, we're going to take Bittles Bottles. Once we've selected our site, we're then greeted with the remainder of the form. We get the ability to add in some license request comments, and these could be either comments directly to us here at Aviva, if there's any particular information that you feel we need to know, such as a particular version of the license that you need, or if this request needs to be expedited, etc. You can add a license request reference or ID. Some of our customers find use in tracking this with their own internal systems as well. So if they have their own internal approvals process before licenses are requested, or internal invoicing for some of the spend of these credits, etc., then you can input those license request reference IDs here. It's kind of just a free text field for you to use as you see fit. Towards the bottom, we then start to get the categories, and these should then look familiar from what we viewed on the products tile earlier. Selecting category will then bring us up the drop-down list of all of the different categories of licenses and products that are available to us as part of our agreement. In this instance, I'm going to go into Enterprise Historian. We can then select our item, and here we can see we've got a list of multiple eDNA products. For this particular test, I'm going to select a Enterprise Data Historian at medium. It tells me the total number of credits per year. And then selecting this license gives me a little bit more detail as well as to exactly what it is that I'm selecting. So if you're maybe unsure on the type of license that you need, you can quickly jump through and select any of these, and it will continue to update the population field at the bottom to give you more detail on exactly what that license type is that you're selecting. We can see that with multiple categories. I'm going to jump over to communication, and then we'll pick a communications driver, and again we get the item details, just dictating exactly what it is that you're going to be requesting here. We can see the total unit cost for the particular license per year. We can specify the total quantity of this license that we need if it's more than one for this particular site. And we can also add a start date as well to this if needed. Sometimes you may wish to be very well organised and order your licenses ahead of a particular project and just want to get this request in and out of the way. So you can then manipulate and edit a start date here as well for when you would like these licenses to be activated and your credits to be consumed from. You don't have to insert a start date. If you don't, then the licenses and the credit burn down will start as soon as this license is fulfilled, which is typically around 2 to 3 working days for us at the moment in time. Most requests are issued much quicker than that, but 2 to 3 days is a pretty safe bet from when you submit your request for us to be able to fulfill that and the licenses be downloaded for you. Once I'm happy with the item that I've decided to take, I can hit the Add to List, and then if I need to, I can continue to add additional products as well. So here, let's take something from our system platform catalogue, and we're going to take a supervisory client as well. Again, we get that item description, we can see the total number of credits, and again I'm going to add that to the list. As you can see, this is in effect just building up a shopping basket for the different licenses and parts that I'd like to request for this site. In the top right hand corner we get this cumulative total of the request as well, so we can always see the total number of credits that this particular request is going to consume over a year, and our overall available credits as well. And that this request is continually updated whenever you add an additional license. We'll see that now. Let's add a historian, and we'll add that to the list. And again, we can see this has continued to populate so that we can always see exactly what our predicted spend is going to be for this license set. Whenever we're happy with the list, in the top right hand corner we've got our save as draft to put that back in that draft area that we saw earlier. We can cancel, or we can hit the send request, which is where it'll then drop into submitted, ready for Aviva to fulfill. So I'm going to hit on the send request, we get a final "Are you sure?" We'll hit OK, and now if I head back to my requests area, which I can get to by going to the home page, requests, we can now see that submitted has been incremented with the 1 as well, showing that that's now ready for Aviva to fulfill. Clicking into the submitted will then show that request. We can see again the requester name, Craig Shuki, the site that it was associated to, total number of credits that we're going to be consuming on this, and the number of licenses requested. If we hit view, that'll then launch this drop down so that we can see all of the different licenses that we actually requested as part of this submission. And if we had input any comments as well for Aviva to see, that would also be listed here. So that's how we can see our license requests once they've been submitted. Now I'm going to just drop back home again, hitting the Aviva button in the top left hand corner, and then go back into our requests, and let's take a look at completed. Now, as we mentioned earlier, once you submit the license request to Aviva, it will drop into our submitted pool. We'll then put that into our in progress as we're fulfilling it, and once completed it will then move into the completed area, which is where we are now. Clearly we don't expect you to have to log into here every couple of minutes or hours just to try and check when licenses are available for you. So in each key stage we will send you an email notification and update. So when you submit your license request, you will receive an email notification confirming that it has been submitted to Aviva. And as soon as those licenses are available for download in this completed area, you'll receive a further email to notify you of that. When you do come back to the portal, or should you just wish to view any completed requests, as we've just shown, you go to the home page, requests and completed, and then here we see a list of all of the different requests that have been completed throughout the contractual period on this Aviva Flex subscription. Again, we can see requester name, the sites, etc., the total number of credits used, and for any of these we can hit the view button to see all of the licenses that were in there. Now, because these are completed, the addition that you may have spotted is down here, the download licenses icon. So from here you can hit the download licenses icon. That will give you the zip file of your licenses that are then ready for you to use within your facility or site, etc. They'll be your fully fledged featured licenses as requested and ordered. You can also view a download history as well, so if you want to see who has downloaded those licenses or when, a full history of how many times they've been downloaded is captured here. Now, because they are kept here within the Aviva Flex portal, there's clearly no reinstatement fee should you misplace those licenses. Clearly they'll only activate once, so you can only use them in one particular area at a time, but should you ever misplace those original files, you'll always be able to just log back into the Aviva Flex portal and re-download those licenses as well. We're just going to jump back a second, just so that we can take a look at another, just for completion's sake. So again, we're going to take a look at this second one now that's got 6 licenses within it. We're going to hit the view, and again, we can see all of those licenses that are contained within that particular request. Couple of other tools that are available to you within here, and clearly this is going to get a very populated field depending upon how many licenses you request and how much you utilise the portal. So across the top here we've got our filters so that you can try and quickly find and navigate your way around requests or try and find licenses. One thing that you can do is you can hit the heart icon, which will add these as favourites. Then we've also got the keyword search as well. So we can change this to look for in progress, submitted, cancelled, completed, etc. or all. In the keyword search we can input users' names. So if I insert Craig and set this to, all, then we can see the license requests directly from myself. Again, we've got a couple more filter icons and the ability to be able to reset up here. So that's how you can kind of navigate your way around. As we touched on earlier as well, there's still the export button as well, so we can take all of this data outside of the portal and be able to manipulate that within Excel should you wish or prefer. Now, the final piece of the portal that I'd like to show to you today is going to be how you return licenses as well. As I'm sure you're aware, with the Aviva Flex Credits contracts, credits are consumed on a monthly basis. So although here on the products tile we show you the total number of credits that a particular license is going to consume over a year, they're only charged on a monthly period. So for instance, if we look at our eDNA Enterprise Historian here, this particular line item, that is going to cost you 1,200 credits per year. So basically 100 credits per month. So if I take this license down, use it for 6 months, and then for whatever reason decide that I no longer need this particular piece of software, I could return this license after 6 months and only have been charged the 600 credits for that particular period or time that I was using that license. So license management and license returns, which is what we're going to focus on now as well, are key to ensuring that you don't overutilise and you're not wasting your investment or credits on things that are no longer required that could be spent elsewhere. So let's take a look at how we would do that. Again, from within the requests tile and within completed, we need to find the particular license that we requested that we would like to return. So we're going to take a look at, let's go for my bottom one here for Biddle's Bottles. That's got 1 license as part of that. We're going to view that request, and we can see this was for the application server single app engine license that I'm no longer needing and no longer required. So what I can do is over on the far right hand side, we've got the return button here. Now clearly return the license is telling Aviva that you no longer wish to use this license, and so it will be deactivated in our systems. So clearly you need to be sure that you're not going to be using this license anymore, as we don't want any adverse effects, breaches of EULAs, things like that. So once you have decided you've definitely finished with the license, you've deactivated it, removed it from your system, then you can come back to the Aviva Flex portal, you can find that particular license, hit the return button. It will then clarify exactly which license it is that you wish to return. You can add comments if you so wish. Typically we recommend inserting the serial number just for your peace of mind as well, just to clarify exactly which license it is that you want to return, and then you can hit the return button. Now I've hit the return button, we can see that the status has changed to returned, and I won't be billed any more credits for this license. As we mentioned, all licenses are billed on a monthly cycle, so I'll be billed for the month in which it was used, whether that was a week or 30 days of the month. I'll still get billed for that full month period, but at the end of that particular period I won't receive any more credit charges for this particular license that's now been returned, and internally Aviva will process that within our systems. And that's pretty much the portal in a nutshell. So thank you very much for your time today.